Welcome back. St. Lucians are being asked to be on their guard this Christmas season as the Ministry of Health and the Environmental Health Department put out an official statement confirming the recall of Del Monte Fiesta corn. The ministry has confirmed that retailers' Massey stores have already removed the product off shelves. Solange Alfred tells us more in this report.
During the 14th December broadcast of the Hot 7 Nightly News, citizens were urged to be on guard for under-processed Del Monte Fiesta corn. The company issued an official statement revealing that St. Lucia, among other countries, received the now recalled product. The product, which did not go through the entire sterilization process, could cause a life-threatening illness if eaten. Hot 7 News tried reaching out to the Environmental Health Division, who at the time had no official statement to release. On December 18th, the Department of Environmental Health provided a statement to the public about the recalled corn. Assistant Chief Environmental Health Officer from the Department of Environmental Health, Parker Ragnanan, said a review was carried out in collaboration with local suppliers to assess whether the product was still in circulation in St. Lucia.
As you would know by now, that there have been a recall on this product. And the Department of Health have been doing an assessment through the Division of Environmental Health, where we have worked with a number of the suppliers on the island, including the importers, to determine whether that product is available in St. Lucia. We want to say to you that only Massey stores confirmed the availability of the product. However, it is not in circulation.
According to Ragnanan, consumers should still be on the lookout for the product during the Christmas season, especially individuals who do their Christmas shopping abroad.
We want to also urge the members of the public to determine whether you are in possession of any of the contaminated product. And if so, you need to return it to the place where you purchased in order to get a full refund. We also want to appeal to persons who are bringing in barrels at this time. And we know that there are persons who get shopping done from overseas. And we want to encourage you that you would review the items in your barrels to ensure that any of the Del Monte Fiesta corn that is in question is not in your barrels. And if they are there, you need to discard them and do not use them.
The Chief Environmental Health Officer offered guidance to assist the public in figuring out if they may have a can of the under-processed Del Monte Fiesta corn.
We urge all St. Lucians to take the precautionary measures to review the products, look at the labeling, and especially determine the best use-by date on the product to see if you are in possession of any of the questionable item. And like we've said, if you have them, return them to the place where you purchased them in order to get a refund for this product.
The cans have the best if used by date ranging from August 14th to 16th, 2021, September 3rd to 6th, 2021, or September 22nd to 23rd, 2021. The 15.25-ounce cans of corn also have the UPC number 24000-02770 on the label. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
CSA General Secretary Claude Paul has finally responded to the CCC's Wilfred Pierre, who during a press conference last week likened him to an attack dog. Paul says he will not stoop to Pierre's level.
The General Secretary of the Civil Service Association, Claude Paul, has decided to be the bigger person and not engage in a back and forth with the Constituency Council CEO, Wilfred Pierre. Paul was referring to this statement made by Pierre on the 4th of December.
As a trade unionist, and you know that I have been in the trade union movement a long time before Popey, I am very, very surprised and taken aback of that attack dog approach. I'm not saying Popey is a dog, the attack dog approach that Poppy, that Mr. Claude Paul is actually using. I mean, when you're dealing with trade union and employees and employers, you have to assess the situation first. You have to ask yourself, well, is there a situation, especially as relating to lateness of pay, is that a common situation? Does the organization bend backwards to assist their members? Do they give, for example, loans or advances? You take all of that into consideration before you make a decision. You know, and that is what upsets me about this thing. Poppy has this attack dog approach that he uses every situation as the same.
Known as one to not mince his words, Paul's stance came as a surprise when he decided to give a rather demure response to the CCC's CEO. Instead, he decided to end the feud by taking the high road.
At this point, I would not want to get into a tit for tat, but merely to say that the CSA's job is to represent its workers, and this must not be about personalities like myself, or anybody for that matter, as long as whatever we do results in a solution. So at this point in time, it makes no sense to me to deal with the details of what was said. As far as I'm concerned, it's of no consequence at this point in time, and what is important is that the workers got paid on time, and that we have to get into a situation where if the city council does not have a scheduled payday, they need to do so in accordance with the Labour Act. It's very clear in the Labour Act, and I believe it is Section 44. They need to check it out and see that it is part of the responsibility of an employer to publish the pay dates for all workers. And this is all we were saying, and in the instance here, the guys did not get paid on time, and we were just looking to get a solution. And that's what is important to us at this point in time.
The matter stemmed by concerns expressed by Paul about the CCC making late November salary payments to CCC workers who are members of the CSA. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I'm Rochelle Gonzalez.
The Public Relations Officer of the Grosley Minibus Owners Association is weighing in on the practice of drivers who stop to allow passengers to get off outside of the designated bus stops. He believes the practice causes more harm than good. Nisha Charles tells us more.
A bus stop is a designated place where buses stop for passengers to board or disembark. The construction of bus stops tend to reflect the level of usage, where stops at busy locations may have shelters or seating, whereas less busy stops may use a simple pole and flag to mark the location. The practice, which has been adopted in St. Lucia to the dismay of drivers and irate passengers, is the stopping of the buses in areas that are not designated for such. These stops have been deemed either dangerous or simply a nuisance to commuters. The Public Relations Officer of the Grosley Minibus Owners Association, Thomas St. Louis, says it's a bad practice that St. Lucians need to desist from engaging in.
Most times you find drivers, maybe out of courtesy or trying to help situations, they would take chances and stop certain areas, which is not right because they are designated bus stops. And for the reason for that is sometimes the drivers get a lot of pressure from passengers, because sometimes when you don't stop where they want to, they slam your door, they save money on you. And I think it's a really bad practice. Passengers, I don't know, for some reason they want to stop everywhere. And when they tell you stop, they feel you're obliged to stop wherever some of them tell you they're paying the money. You know, there are rules and regulations, there are traffic code that states that buses need to use the bus stops at all times. Yes, we bend the line a bit to accommodate the public, and it makes us look bad in the end.
He firmly believes that the problem is a St. Lucian one and calls on the public to adhere to the proper practices. St. Louis believes that when drivers bend the rules for one passenger, they should be held accountable for their actions, which could jeopardize the safety of passengers and the public.
If you travel throughout the region, you would find if you miss a bus stop, you have to stop at the next. I think St. Lucians are just a spoiled society, and I think with the new year coming, you know, would like to see the passengers at least work with the drivers and understand that drivers cannot just stop anywhere. There are designated bus stops, and we need to use that. Over the years, we've known something they call traditional stops, meaning there are certain areas over there where we can take a chance and stop, which that will not create a problem for the motoring public. But however, some areas when drivers say they cannot stop there, the passengers have to adhere with that because it's really making us look bad in the eyes of the public.
Bus stops are designated for a reason. They allow passengers to get off buses safely while ensuring the people and the cars on the street are not in any kind of danger. For the Hot 7 News, Nisha Charles reporting.
Thank you, Nisha. The Consumer Affairs Division in the Ministry of Commerce is reminding citizens to be responsible as they do their Christmas shopping. The division is providing helpful tips to citizens to guard against buyer's regret and to ensure their Christmas is indeed a merry one.
Shopping has become synonymous with the holidays. During the festive season, many indulge in sales, promotions, and other marketing gimmicks set up by retailers. During this time of the year, the Consumer Affairs Department is encouraging consumers to shop safely and wisely. The department has advised to make a shopping list beforehand and adhere to a budget, as this will go a long way in keeping consumers from experiencing buyer's remorse. Consumer Affairs Department's Information Officer, Melissa Williams-Davy, also encourages shoppers to inspect all goods before purchase and keep all receipts.
We ask consumers also to inspect all goods carefully before leaving the store. Scrutinize goods for quality, signs that they may be damaged, and in the case of clothes and shoes, ensure that they fit comfortably. Also ensure that consumers are given a receipt. Should something go wrong with the item or the item is defective, your receipt is always proof of purchase. It proves that you bought the particular product at the place and the date you are claiming.
Shoppers should also ask relevant questions before making a final purchase. Williams-Davy expressed that information concerning the durability of an item, after-sales service, warranty or guarantee, and even reputation of a store should be made clear before purchase.
Many persons do not like to read, and so reading comes into play. We ask consumers to read your instruction manuals, contracts, and labels. Always check for the expiry dates. That is very, very important. And of course, items that are expired should never be purchased. And I repeat, consumers do not buy any expired product from any store.
The Consumer Affairs Department stated that these shopping tips are not limited to just clothing and electronics, but rather the department urged persons buying meat from local butchers to ensure that the inspected and passed stamp from the Ministry of Health is available. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solaj Alfred.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News. There's more news coming up after the break.